If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
Hey, it's 10 a.m. and this is Utah's best sports radio.
Say my name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb.
You're damn right.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, folks, let's get it. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Just past 10 o'clock. If you've been on vacation or under a rock somewhere, that's totally fine. We forgive you. It's myself, Scott Gerard, alongside the coach, Tim LaComb, and we are on every day from 10 to 2. How you doing, Coach?
Awesome, man. Had a great weekend and, a lot of fun things.
Yeah?
Got to go to dinner with you and got to meet your wife. That was cool.
Yeah.
Had a good time up at El Matador in Bountiful.
Yes. Big thanks to Todd and the crew up there at El Matador, Todd and Cammie, the owners, and my son was our waiter.
It was awesome.
Did a tremendous job, and it was fun. We had a lot of fun. Good food, too, huh?
And the cool part is we talk a lot to get together and to each other from 10 to 2, but there was not a lot of that.
No.
The wives were doing most of the chatting, which is, we looked at each other eating and like, this is good.
This is good.
This is exactly why you do stuff like this.
Yeah, because they were dialed in.
Dialed in.
Which was not a surprise, but always nice.
And then Sunday, we actually, it was a neat day in our family. Got blessed our twin granddaughters yesterday.
Twins, that's so cool.
And had a big gathering afterwards with a bunch of family. Those are always fun. And
do the old funeral potatoes or what?
No, we did actually. My wife did like a breakfast cowboy casserole.
Yeah, nice.
With hash browns and sausage and egg and, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was awesome. It was very, very good. I went for maybe even thirds.
Nice. Couple of rounds on that.
Little hot sauce. It was terrific. And then watched yesterday was Game 7 crazy.
I know.
A couple Game 7s in the NBA, the NHL. So got through those, and now I'm ready for another week.
By the way, Lloyd, our guy went 3 for 3 at the end of the show on Friday. I rolled out 3 games. There were 3 games that were 3-2s, and you said 2 of them would go to Game 7s, and 1 of them would close out. 3 for 3.
That's why you listen to this guy.
That's why you listen. Guy knows his stuff.
Well, I was awesome. I was watching it kind of transpire. I was like, yes, I like when good things happen to bad people.
I like when I look smart. And, you nailed that. But, great weekend outside of a hockey game.
Yeah, we're going to kind of – I thought we'd tread lightly.
It's tough, man. It's tough because I think people were so excited. They had so much fun on the ride, and you should. You should absolutely have enjoyed every second of that ride. And I got to imagine as a coach, too, it's kind of weird. As a broadcaster, it's weird for me. I can't imagine what it's like for coaches and players when you're on a ride and you've had a crazy season, you go into a conference tournament, and then you go into the NCAA tournament. And people don't realize this about the NCAA tournament. Like when you go, they roll out the red carpet. They've got the band playing your fight song. Like they've got all this really cool stuff. And then when you lose, you're out. Like get on that charter and GTFO.
Have you checked out of your rooms?
Yeah. Get out. But like when you go and go and go and go, and then all of a sudden you hit that car hits that barrier at 60 miles an hour and it just stops. That can't be easy.
Well, it's so funny. I heard you say that the other day when you were just Scotty and friends.
Yeah.
You were talking about how the season comes to an end, and it's exactly that. I mean, because you have to think about it as competitors. You're looking at not just the game you're playing, but you've got a whole crew that's doing recon on your next supposed opponent, right? And so you're so deep into what's going to happen after this game, and the last thing you're thinking is something's going to happen and we're going to lose. So you just don't think that way. All of your thought is forward and momentum. And like you said, that thing goes to zero, and you walk back into the locker room, and you have about 15 minutes as a coaching staff to process it together and then get in with your team and put some sort of bow on the season. And sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah.
But I would say for the Mammoth, Bear walking in there, he had to have been so happy and pleased with so many things this season. And as I listened across the nation, and I listened to broadcasts of other games this weekend, the Mammoth were brought up, and they were brought up in a really positive light. The way that they pushed the Knights, the way that they matched them physically, which I don't think a lot of people thought they could do. But when they come back to the same mistake game after game after game, at some point you have to tip your hat to the other team and say, these guys aren't doing this on purpose. There is a ton of pressure you're putting on them. Those hits are starting to, make guys look over their shoulder. And the bottom line is the Mammoth lost that game in a much more dramatic fashion, but similarly, tough, silly penalties, turnovers that led to goals. And the Knights move on. They're a phenomenal team. I got a kick out of looking at the handshake line because there wasn't a lot of happy faces in that, but at the end of the day, Vegas and their coach talked so positively in the post game about the Mammoth, the location, the fans, the whole energy around it. And, you look at their prospects, the guys they have coming up, the guys they have signed and are young for a long time. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
This team has a ton of cap space. They can go reinvent some pieces. And I just have so much confidence in the ownership group, first of all. But then, we've talked to Bill, but I've watched Bill work. I see, went through all the prospects they have in the pipeline. And there is a common theme. He likes certain guys that can really skate. He likes big guys. I mean, there's a 6'7" goalie sitting at Boston College right now that, is just waiting his time. But imagine 6'7" in the cage. So a lot of things to be excited about, but at the end of the day, it took some air out of the balloon.
It did. But let's get to it. Let's recap the season and the playoff series that was. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to kick off the show with the biggest headlines of the day. This is your starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. As Timmy mentioned, the season has come to an end for the Utah Mammoth as they lose and get roughed up pretty good to the Vegas Golden Knights in game number 6. We were all hoping to see a game number 7, but it was not to be as Vegas came in and took control of the game early, had a 2-0 lead. Our guy Yamamoto with a beautiful goal to make it 2-1, and all of a sudden it felt like, okay, these guys came to life. Like, we got some energy, and there was energy, but the Golden Knights able to sneak in another goal, make it 3-1, and that really took the air out of the arena. They added another one and then an empty netter, and the final was 5-1. Utah loses that game, and you said it, you nailed it right on the head, that all the little mistakes, all the little things that the Utah Mammoth were putting duct tape on or kind of putting the finger and kind of plugging the dam as much as they could, they just ran out of gas in that game. Like, they just couldn't keep overcoming the same mistakes over and over and over again. And Vegas is the veteran team. Vegas, they've been there. Their experience showed, and they're like, okay, they let us off the hook in game 5. We can't do that. We got to close out this thing. And you can tell that was an experienced team that knew how to take care of business, and they did that. They flexed in game 6.
You were there for you covered that game?
Yes.
Covered it?
I covered it, yeah.
And you did cover it.
Yeah.
But was there a major difference? Obviously, game 3 was so raucous, right? But this one, Vegas kind of, did they take the air out of the building?
They did. In pregame, it felt just as crazy as it did in game 3. Like, the place was absolutely electric. And through that first period, everybody was just ready to explode. That place was just, it was like that bomb that everybody's just waiting for somebody to hit the button and it just couldn't ignite. And then as the game went on, it got a little bit just sluggish and a little bit more sluggish. And everybody's like, come on, do something. Let's go. And that Yamamoto thing brought everybody. I mean, it was right there. And it's like, all right, 1-goal game. We still got 15, 16 minutes left here in the third period. Place was absolutely electric. And then as soon as that third goal went in for Vegas, then everybody realized, yeah, it wasn't going to happen. And, the fun thing is, because I wanted to be part of the postgame show with Jay, and I wanted to do it from home. So midway through the third period, I'm leaving. And so I'm running out to my car, and the watch party outside the arena was still packed. And it was still a ton of people out there. And I can't imagine what that was like throughout the course of the game or even before the game. I mean, the community support for this thing was just through the roof. And Cole Bagley and other members of our staff were at the locker room clean out yesterday. And Logan Cooley, I thought, had a great line kind of summing up this season, but also knowing that, that was fun. We did some good things, but now it's time to get greedy.
We all want to get to the playoffs. That was our goal. And, I think the focus kind of switches to, now we're winning in the playoffs. I think everyone got that taste of playoff hockey. And the biggest thing for me is, that was so much fun playing in those moments and in those games. It makes me want to, continue to keep playing playoff hockey.
So you get a taste of it. It's like, you guys beat Florida, get that first win in the NCAA tournament. Then the next year, you're like, okay, time to stack some wins in this tournament.
And honestly, it's like I've compared, climbing the hill as a team to hiking. And, I used to hike Rock Canyon all the time in Provo. And one of my favorite things about it was almost like a video game because they have 6 bridges. And so every day you can hike to a certain bridge. You hit that bridge, you activate it, and then the next day you go to the next bridge. It's kind of how I would hike when I first started, just to try to get some stamina. But I think about that all the time in athletics. I mean, you don't necessarily have to figure out, you can get lucky on your first try and get all the way there, but it happens very rarely. Oftentimes, and you heard Cooley say it, part of it as a human is experience it and to understand that this is a different game.
Yeah.
We play a game all regular season. This game here really amps up. And, it's just when there's money on the table in anything, or in this case, the Stanley Cup, to be able to engrave your name on that piece of history. And so for me, it's, it's something we talked about all week, where, young teams gain so much, and you hear it all the time, a team coming in with no playoff experience. Well, that's where you have to take a step back as a Mammoth fan right now. And we are seriously 2 years removed from them even being here. I'll never forget the day I was covering the Jazz, and I was down in my regular seat before the game. And, from time to time, Ryan will come out early, and he came out and was, had a ball, and he threw the ball up to me, and that indicates he wants to chat. So I brought the ball back down to the floor, and we walked out to midcourt, and he said, "I need you to keep a secret." And I said, "Okay." This is 2 years ago, about April. And I said, "What's up?" He said, "We're going to finish this deal, but and I can't have you say anything about it. We're going to have hockey in this building next year. The NHL's coming here." And I'm like, "What are you seriously?" He said, "Yeah." It hasn't been announced, but we've been doing all the due diligence, the discussion. We've got some serious work to do to get it ready. But, I fast forward from that time to now, and you're talking about the community that's now built. You walk outside that arena, and you see people that can't get in, but they want to be around. They got a gold mine. It was an awesome acquisition. It was great business. It was great for the community. And I do believe in this league, this NHL, I do believe this ownership group, they'll find a way to make meaningful runs for that cup.
Oh, yeah.
Without question.
So to credit Bill Armstrong, first off, we'll have at some point, whether I know he's got a ton on his plate right now, whether it's tomorrow or later in the week, we'll have Bill Armstrong on for a couple more conversations to wrap up the season. But Bill has been insanely transparent about the steps that his team would take. And so our first year we'd had him on the air. It was obviously not last year, but the year before, the first season here in Salt Lake City. And the Mammoth would, they got out of the gate really fast, and they were winning games right and left. And so we talked to him like, hey, you know what? This is great. You guys are on track to being a playoff team, a deep run in the playoffs. He'd be like, hold on. We're taking steps. This isn't who we are. We know who we are. And we want to be right there fighting for a playoff spot. And we're thinking, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You're going to be easily a playoff team. Then the next week, they'd lose 4 or 5 in a row. And he'd come on. We're like, oh, the world's falling apart. He's like, we know who we are. This is who we are. We're going to have good spells. We're going to have bad spells. And we're going to be right there on the cusp of the playoffs. Essentially saying we're about a 500 team. And he told us all year long exactly who the team was. Whether it was wins or losses, he knew exactly who they were. And he was spot on. They were right on the outside looking into the playoffs, and they were so close but didn't quite make it. Next year, fast forward, start of the season, Bill, who are you this year? We're a playoff team. We know who we are. We are a playoff team. And sure enough, at some point they would play really well. At other points, they'd go backwards a bit. But the whole time, like, we're going to be in the playoffs. We know who we are. Boom, they're in the playoffs. Now, next year, he's going to say, I would assume, as he's a big believer in taking steps, hey, we're a team that's going to win a round or two in the playoffs. We're going to be a team that's going to be fighting for a conference title. He's probably not going to say Stanley Cup, but he's going to say, yeah, we're ready to win a series or two in the playoffs because we know who we are and we're going to take that next step. It's almost as if it's taken the surprise out of it because he's known all along exactly what's happening. Like, he's giving you the answers to the test before the test is even being handed out. And because he's that dialed in with where his team is, and now they've got that playoff experience under their belt. Now they know what to expect when they go into the playoffs. They're not going to be surprised by any level of physicality. In fact, they'll be the ones delivering the physicality right out of the gate. There's no reason to think this team can't be hoisting up a Stanley Cup in the next 2 to 3 years.
And the crazy thing about what you say is you're 100% right. I'm a P1 back to the 90s,
yes,
right, with sports radio.
P1, B1.
So I heard all of these conversations, and I heard the trepidation when a bunch of losses would stack up, and he wasn't happy about it, but he understood the process. And I think that is so important. And I think we've got that here in Salt Lake with both the Mammoth on that side with Bill, and then, with Danny and Austin on the Jazz side. Like, that is such a huge piece because, look, of course, if they would have beat Vegas and gotten to the second round and, gone into a great series and found a way to win that, if they were able to push the limit this year, he'd be more than happy to accept that. But at the same time, I think you do have to understand who you are. Rick Majerus used to say that all the time. He used it in media. He'd use it with the team. But he'd say, when I go into a bar, I know I got to know which stool to sit on. If Cindy Crawford's at one end, I'm not going to go pick Cindy. She and I probably don't mesh. So you got to know who you are. You got to know where, what part of the bar can you sit at? Yeah. Which of those ladies can you engage conversation meaningfully?
Where's the 4s? Where's the 5s?
And you say it like Bill to a T knows his team. And more importantly, knows what he wants his team to look like in the future. And so you go, again, I looked at the top 15 prospects, and there's a common theme. And so, yeah, these guys continue to get better. These young guys gained the playoff experience. And so, I heard multiple guys say, I heard Uyghur say it, we got to start talking about the Stanley Cup here.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what we do from now. Like, we'll follow the instructions. But as a fan, I couldn't have been more drawn in. I couldn't have been more excited. That game took the air out of me the other night. I was sitting on the edge of the seat trying to cheer, and then Yamamoto, I thought he'd brought, some magic, and it wasn't even 2 minutes, right? And that thing was quelched. And again, I'll end where I started. It just makes you realize how good Vegas is because our boys gave a hell of an effort. They matched the physicality, got pounded in the first game and stepped it up from there. But Vegas, there were parts of that where they were talking to themselves. And I think that's the part of the experience that now the Mammoths just need to continue to build on.
Maybe they did want Edmonton after all.
Yeah.
But
maybe so.
I will say, I think the experience they got from playing against Vegas was much more valuable than it would have been against Edmonton.
Yeah, Edmonton may have been discouraging in some cases, right? Like the matchup was hard for the Mammoth. They've won one time.
Yeah, and even that was in overtime, and when Edmonton was down a couple of guys.
And the Curtin Jordan on skates.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the great, probably the best player playing.
By the way, I don't know if you heard his comments. Whew.
Yeah,
he's not a happy camper.
They don't have enough.
Said the organization as a whole has taken a step back.
Hey, Utah's a great place
Utah's
to
a
play.
great spot.
Come
we got
on,
salary cap.
We got room for you, Connor. Come on over. We got you. Hey, although we're going to start a campaign on this show, and look, Bill Armstrong is a very good friend, and we understand that he knows more about hockey. Frankly, has forgotten more about hockey than we'll ever know. But we're only going to make one plea: bring Yamamoto back. Bring our guy Kyler back.
We want to buy the jersey.
Yes, I want to buy that jersey. I want my kid rocking that jersey. And I'm not
So
even
you're wanting
jersey
like
guy.
a 5-year deal.
I want a 5-year contract. I want
Yeah, 10
Yamamoto right on this team all for the next 5 years. Just bring him back. And then as soon as he decides to stop playing hockey, I want him in the front office in some way, shape, or form. We need more Yamamotos in that organization.
Give me Yamamoto.
I want that guy.
He's 5'8", 170 nothing.
Yeah.
And
But
he knocks
he
people.
plays
And
like
he will-
he's 6'2", 205.
He will bust you in the mouth.
He's like he's. You know what he is? He is the Lloyd Cole of hockey.
Yes.
I don't know about him.
I mean, a smaller guy, but brings the
Okay.
freaking
Brings
punch.
the heat. Yep. Hey, I know the season's over, but let's make a request on him.
Oh, I'd love to chat with him.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're on hockey, I found this crazy. Last night, that Game 7, which the Canadiens
Yeah.
were able to hold off. According to ESPN research, Montreal's shot total was the second lowest in a playoff game since shots on goal were first officially tracked and the lowest in that time span for a winning team. The Maple Leafs posted just 6 shots in a 2000 series with the Devils. Toronto, however, lost that game and the series to New Jersey. So if you didn't see it last night, Montreal did win. The Mammoth won a game this series with a 12
Yeah.
12 shots. This was 9. 9 shots on goal, and they won.
9 shots. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And the Mammoth had 4 goals off those 12 shots.
Yes, they did. That night was magic.
Oh, that was so much
Because
fun.
they had 31 shots.
Yeah.
Vegas did
Yep.
to 12.
And for the most part, Utah had complete control of that game, too. All right, 10:26, just getting the show started. A little bit of movement around the NBA. You lose a playoff series, hey, you may even lose your job. We'll tell you about that next. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Is right here, right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaCoe, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, where is Huey Lewis on your...
I liked Huey. He was a novelty act to
Yes.
me. But to me, 15, 16 years old is my memories of him. He did hit, the MTV.
Yeah.
The MTV generation helped him because his videos were very good.
Oh, yeah. What was the album? Sport?
Sport.
Was a solid album.
Solid album. But again,
Cotton candy for the ears.
Yeah, not a good driving to the amusement park songs. But I have a hard time, digging into them much more than just the ear candy.
When it comes on, you're like, all right. And then it's over, you're like, okay, that was good.
But I do like it. I mean, and obviously Back to the Future, there's a ton of ties to Back to the Future.
It's like a good fast food run, All right, that was good, and I can go a few months without having that again.
Yes. What's weird about Back to the Future is I've lived it.
Really?
Well, I'm just like it was then.
Been on a hoverboard lately?
No, I'm just saying I lived the time frame. I've lived where he skipped forward to.
Yeah.
Well, I've lived past that from the time that 83, 84 to now. And what's crazy is there's so many things that were similar. We don't have hoverboards.
Or flying cars.
we have hover thoughts.
Yes.
Which is so dangerous. Anybody can just hover their thought into the universe at will, regardless of content.
We don't have the self-fitting Nikes.
We do not. I did see a pair of those. Guthrie, pitcher, Major League Baseball, Jeremy Guthrie, former BYU pitcher, Stanford pitcher, was really good about when we'd bring guys on campus because he has this crazy cool shoe collection. And he's got some of those original ones that Nike made, like they're made as kind of prop shoe. But he has a pair.
But to live through 85 when the movie came out, and then what was the future? Was it 2020 or I can't remember the year that they came.
I know we've surpassed.
We've already it's way in the rearview mirror.
So so I've lived back.
Hilldale's like a metropolis now.
Yeah.
But that's the other part. You go, I drive through my old neighborhoods and they don't necessarily look like that when it was run down, but yeah, it's weathered.
It does look a little like the Biff's future.
Correct.
Some of the neighborhoods I've lived in.
If I could have gotten a hold of the elm.
I know, right? I know.
Think how rich we'd be.
Oh, man.
Would we still do a show?
Yeah, but we'd do it differently.
Well, we'd have to do a show because we'd charge, we'd be revenue all over the place.
Yeah. And, but we'd be a little bit more loose with our opinions. The stuff we talk about during the break might make it on the air a little bit more.
That's true.
Wasn't there something on there, like on the movie that said Cubs win and it had the same year?
It did.
Yep. And it was
weird.
It wasn't the same year, but it was pretty close.
Okay.
The Simpsons, you want to talk about
Simpsons have done it too. Yeah.
They've got an all-seeing eye
They've
somewhere.
got Trump
They
winning.
had Trump coming down the escalator wearing the exact same tie shirt and a suit.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
They're spot on. All right, Jamal Mosely out in Orlando. This caught your attention because here's a guy. People forget how bad Orlando was, talking about tanking. Orlando just ran it right into the ground. Mosely comes in, and they start rebuilding. He's made the playoffs each of the last 3 seasons. Now, they did blow the 3-1 series lead, and people get crumpy when you blow a 3-1 series lead. The president, Jeff Weltman, just signed a contract extension, so that means he's not going anywhere. So somebody's got to fall on the sword, and apparently it is Mosely. Weltman said, "We're grateful to Jamal for all he's done for the Magic. We appreciate his leadership. This was a difficult decision, but we feel it's time for a new voice and a fresh perspective." Now, look, the one thing, they never really could get their offense clicking. They were always bottom 10 in offense, but boy, they could defend like crazy. And you make the playoffs 3 years in a row, and you build a team up from being just an absolute dumpster fire of a team, and you're gone. NBA, man. Now, the one thing about the NBA is once you get in, seems like you always have a job. It's just like shuffling the deck chairs a little bit, but they'll boot you pretty quick.
Yeah, they'll boot you. And I just looked at his track record. So he inherited a 21-win team from Steve Clifford. And in year 1, he won 22. So he got better by 1 game. They did not make the playoffs. In year 2, they won 34 games. So they jumped up 12 and, again, did not make the playoffs. Then their playoff run began. He won 47. And in that season, Orlando was the 2nd-rated defense in the NBA. So he really stacked the deck defensively, and you can kind of see that through his run. Offensive numbers always in the high teens to 20s. The defensive rating is where they hung their hat. Year 4, they win 41 games, and they're 2nd-rated defense again. So that's something when you can get lucky maybe 1 year, but when you do that year after year, you know that the scheme's really good. But in each of those years, they lost in the first round. Lost to the Cavs in 7 in the first trip. They lost to the Celtics in 5. And then this year they won 45 games. So they won a few more games than last year, but they blow that 3-1 lead, and they lose to the Pistons in 7. I don't think this is probably a bad thing. I think Mosely probably got the opportunity. They gave him 2 years to get to the playoffs, and then they gave him 3 runs in the playoffs. He was definitely hurt by injury.
Yeah.
Throughout his whole time, they just never could get healthy. Felt like they got healthy and they played magic basketball, but what really abandoned them was the offense. And you saw even in that last game, Detroit held them under 100 points. So it's probably, I agree there, it's probably the right time. And there was a quote after the game, Banchero was asked about it. He said, the question was, do you have what it takes in this locker room to win in the playoffs? And he said, I want to say yes, but this is the third straight time we haven't gotten out of the first round. So if you're going to go off the last 3 years, the answer is no. The nice answer is yes, but honestly speaking, I can't say we're good enough to be in the finals or the Eastern Finals because the last 3 years we've had the same result.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah. So something had to change, and I think you said it, the executive is actually the guy that hired Jamal and fired Clifford, so he's going to protect his butt. And so Mosely has to go because it's either him or, then you get some dissension in the locker room, I would assume. This shows the players, hey, we're trying to move this thing forward, and it makes a lot of sense that our guy who spent a lot of time in Florida, most recently he's been in Chicago, but Billy Donovan, this seems to have his name all over it.
I think that, and again, sometimes if you just kind of look at how things are playing out, you start to realize pretty quickly that there's more to this story. When you look at Billy Donovan turning down North Carolina and saying, the Bulls essentially revamping their whole front office to accommodate Billy Donovan, and then Billy Donovan, after a few weeks, decides, no, I'm done, and just shuts it down. You're like, you could have had North Carolina. Like if you were so done with Chicago, why not take that North Carolina job? He knew something was brewing. And I got to imagine if he ends up getting this job, I think the wheels were in motion on this a little bit before people would realize.
Oh, they always are.
Yeah.
Those conversations, everybody likes to say that they take care of things in order, but in this day and age, it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
And so if you do have some conversations and they're private, with representatives or with the coach, I would imagine those things happen. That happens all the time. But to your point, the great thing about this for Donovan is he's really struggled in Chicago to even put a team together that could make the playoffs and make a run. And so I think this team's actually set up. Orlando's set up on a tee.
Yeah.
They've got young, signed veterans, or guys that have been through the wars who have not been able to get through the first round the last 3 years. And it's a great time for a guy like him who's kind of been to the mountaintops, coached some really good teams. Have him come in there with a new voice and a new vision, a new scheme, give some guys a little bit more freedom. And that's probably more than anything what the front office is trying to accomplish.
Was he at Florida when you guys got the win over them in the tournament?
Remember, in fact, Dave told the story on air, Coach Rose, that
that's right.
After the game, Coach was sitting back there because the winning coach goes after the losing coach, and so he was sitting back waiting to go on, and Billy came off and actually was so gracious, and just said, so happy for you, knew it was his first win. So yeah, he was there when we played them. And then I think he was there both times. Yeah. Cause the time we lost to him, Chandler Parsons was there as well. So it was he's done a great job as a coach all over the place, was a great player at Providence. And I would assume that's where he'll end up.
By the way, Gordy Chiesa used to tell me this all the time. So Billy Donovan on that Providence team.
Billy the Kid, they called him.
Yeah, the coaching staff.
It was unbelievable.
So you had Rick Pitino as the head coach. Herb Sendek was on that staff. Gordy Chiesa was on that staff. Van Gundy, Jeff Van Gundy was on that staff. And then another guy was in the NBA front office for a while.
I'm trying to remember.
But, that staff was loaded.
Loaded. Yeah,
and Billy Donovan's
loaded.
the point guard.
And he's the point guard. So, yeah, I would say that was a high basketball IQ because, seriously, you think about Pitino and, his great ability. He's got this great ability to lead guys however he does it. And I think it's more Majerus-esque than not. He challenges dudes and gets into them. But his X's and O's, his schemes, his presses, all the things he can do to you. But I've coached against Sendek, and the dude's a legend. He's a brilliant guy. Obviously, we know of the legend of Gordon Chiesa around here.
Yeah.
You just listen to one segment, him talk basketball.
Oh my.
He came up and did a segment with. He did a clinic with us at the University of Utah on ball screens. Just all the different ways that he's seen them defended, and so we went through, and it was like seriously, I was taking notes so fast. He's brilliant. So that's Steph. Yeah. So, but also that's where Donovan learned the game.
Yeah.
Played for his dad and then went to Rick. And so great minds all together there collectively. And that's an interesting moment in time.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a team that went on a deep run in the tournament too. I don't know, were they Final Four?
They did make the Final Four.
It was the 86 team.
86 Final Four.
Yeah. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, what you may have missed, we'll go back to the NBA playoffs. No team in the NBA is overcome an 0-3 deficit to win a series. And very few times have you seen a team overcome a 3-1 deficit. Well, guess what? It happened twice this weekend. We just mentioned Orlando giving up one. It happened to another team as well. Just how rare is it? How crazy is it? Well, we saw it twice, and we'll break them down. Coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good night's sleep.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim Lacombe, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Gerard alongside the coach, Tim Lacombe. I'm gonna make a mistake here sooner or later because I did pre-half and post for so long with the late, great Tom Nasalki. I'm going to, at one point, because I always say Scott Gerard and the coach, and I always used to say Tom Nasalki, and it's just the old muscle memories kicking in. So
you can call me Tom Nasalki anytime. That was a great man.
By the way, I love Tom.
He was awesome.
That one hit me hard when he passed because he was a lot of people thought he was just a grouchy old curmudgeon, and he kind of was. But, man, he had a heart of gold, and he taught me so much about the game of basketball. And, Tom was the best. I loved working with him.
So he was a coach when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember at the U, I went in one day to Green Street.
Oh, yeah, that's his baby.
Owner of that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so I actually went in there one day, and he was in there, and we had a cool conversation. I ran into him through the years, having worked for Rick. He like you say, you wouldn't look at him and say this guy needs to be talked to, but when you start a conversation, it was like this dude is cool, and yeah, he was great. I always loved that, that I'm doing kind of the job that he was doing when I was listening as a kid.
All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm fired up for this because normally when we talk about Ethan, we're getting you on a well-worn path.
To financial security, to financial
security. Well, I got to imagine, though, a well-worn path with you and Alex Kirry, and you guys are back on it on KSL.
Can you believe this?
Alex, how are you, man?
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. Has it been a, say, Bill, I can't see real well. Is that Bill Horse? Is that Bill Shakespeare over there?
Bill?
Yeah. So this is
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah. Dad, I wish you would just shut your big yapper. Chris Farley drops, everybody. This is interesting to be number one, to be with Ethan again. It was the only way I would even think about walking away from any kind of sports radio stuff.
That's how it's been for me too. I mean, that's the only thing that made it attractive is getting that team back together.
So starting today?
Yeah, starting today. Yeah.
So there'll be a noon to 1 stream that we're going to do on a daily basis, just the stream. And then 1 to 3 will be down in Master Control at News Radio again. I was saying, too, they're like, it's been nice because it's been an apology tour from executives. We're so sorry we took you off the list. You know how they work. You know how they operate. They always love coming back and saying we were wrong. And that was okay. That's okay.
You know what's crazy, though? This is going to weird you out. Do you realize that we started on the Nightside Project 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Basically this spring.
Yeah, it was 06.
Hey, I'm guilty. I've listened so much, those weird times I was driving around listening to you guys and laughing.
So
you guys do a terrific job.
I got mad. I just walked in and I felt like there was almost going to be an old Rick Bergeras situation going on. There was like, you were this close. You're talking about, anytime you're talking about working with Big Rick, I'm always like,
oh yeah, here it comes. I drop it every now and again.
I've been listening long enough to hear that. I was listening back when we didn't know who Big Rick was, and we should have put the freaking two and two together. But there we are. Yeah.
So I've listened to you guys because I would come home. Usually, we were living in Tooele at the time, and I would drive home.
It's only 40 miles back.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Yeah, it was. Let's just say I got a lot of time listening to you guys. And so I'd be coming home. I'd get off at about 7:30, and I'd be listening to you guys. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is great. I have 2 requests for you, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
Number 1, Logan or Provo has to come back.
Okay.
You know what? I don't hate that at all. In fact, it's one of those things that like we try to explain it to people, and people are like, I don't think that's for us.
Yeah, it's hard to
explain.
And
then you're like, come on. And then, but once you do it,
once you hear it, it's awesome.
So I don't know if I told you this. So the premise of Logan or Provo is we give you a crime that's been committed in one of these places. And then you have to guess which city it was in. And Logan or Provo, you get very similar crimes, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's lots of stuff that people in Provo and Logan. Now, listen,
and it's focused around the campus.
Yeah, and there's lots of listen, murderings happen everywhere, but the problem is that the stories that sound very much like Provo, very much like Logan, they're very similar. We noticed.
Yeah.
At one point, BYU asked us to stop dipping into their police reports. For that. I said, well, that's not, I said that, yes. I said, that's not how it works. You guys, like, this is public stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know what they did? They went into the Daily Universe. This was us. They took out the police blotter from the Daily Universe because they were like, we're not freaking letting these guys get our secrets.
That was my favorite part of the paper.
I know.
I used to love that.
I used to love it too. They're like, a woman was wearing an outfit that was very offensive to a young man. And you're like, what are we talking about? You know where that's coming from. It's not Logan, at least. But
a suspicious man was wearing a hat in a building.
Yeah. A man with facial hair tried to take a test. And like, that stuff was, but I always loved those types of things because we just screwed around a ton.
Yeah.
Now we got to be a little bit more buttoned up. But got to do this with Ethan.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be heavy politics. We can't do it.
No,
we're not doing it.
Not now.
We'll bring people together, right?
That's right.
That's
well,
the
look at the name, KSL Brightside, right? We want this. It's for people who love news. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about current events, and we're all going to stay friends. And it's going to be great. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to get informed. And it'll be something that's going to uplift us.
All right. So number 1, Logan or Provo, if you can.
Okay.
And then number 2, you got to bring the carols back.
Christmas carols. I remember maybe a young Jake coming in the studio singing.
Yeah.
So my oldest came in studio, and then the next year I think my middle son came with him, and my wife brought the whole family in.
So we took pictures with the Gerards, dude, in the studio because it was like, and Scotty's like, hey man, I know it's a weird request, but like I was all, absolutely, let's freaking do it. Let's get them in here. Absolutely. Because it was one of these things where we had so many, I can't tell you how many kids. I mean, 20 years ago too.
Yeah.
That's why you have, I mean, because how old's Jake now? 24 and a half?
24, yeah.
So like that's the thing is like you have guys who, you know, in our 2015, 2016 kind of era when they're 10, 12 years old or whatever, and they were listening back then. That was the whole point of the show. We're going to get younger listeners. At some point, they were like, these guys are too wild for the rest of the KSL airwaves. But in the end, like, it did. We have people who still – we have a set of twins named after us. We have, like, all sorts of younger people grew up kind of listening to the show.
Yeah.
And then we got them as KSL News Radio listeners.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so amazing. And, Scotty, you should know, I'm still working that well-worn path. I'm doing both gigs. So.
Hey, man, you got to. You got to in this world. You got to be hungry and go after. That's what I've been doing for the last 6.
So so
Tim is the epitome of that. Yes.
When my oldest, when Jake went and sang and was in the studio, and I came home, I'm like, "How was he?" He's like, "It was awesome. I was on the radio. These guys are the coolest." I'm like, "Hey, you know what your dad does for a living, right?" He's like, "No, this was like a real radio station."
No. You know what's interesting though is that my kids do the same thing where they're like this, because my wife does too. Like I don't. It's not I don't know, But my guess is that Jenny's not like a P1
No,
all the time.
no.
Our wives are out. Like my wife's like, oh, that's cute. What were you guys talking about? And I was like, oh, this thing. She's like, yeah, that's great. And then people will ask her when we're in public, they go, do you think this guy's funny or what? She's like, absolutely not.
No.
Like, and I don't listen either. I don't listen. And my kids do the same thing because they did this exact same thing where they go, did you listen to that? No, I didn't listen to it. But when they got around sports radio guys, then it was like way cooler.
Oh,
you see
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, whatever your dad's doing is not that interesting because they know they've seen you in your underwear at home, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. But someone else doing the exact same thing, very, very impressive.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was
that's what
awesome.
they think, so.
And I'm so fired up. So the Brightside,
KSL Brightside is what we're saying because I think there's something else out there floating around. It's Brightside, and we're saying KSL in front of it because just so we can stay legal. You know
I
what
love that.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
we played
it's during the day.
Brightside for you guys on the way in.
We wanted to, and then they said for sure that one the Killers will not be huge fans of. So you're trying to sell it or whatever.
No, I'm saying we just did a little blurb before
nice.
you came in here.
I know,
Brightside?
but you know what? This is what I want to keep doing, and then we have people dipping in there going, that's not you can't.
Look, you know how it is. The
no fun police. That's
They show up. I
That's
get
the
it.
only adjustment that I've had to
HR
make here.
was still on this guy's case today. He's
I
already
spent all
worked here
morning.
before.
I spent all morning in HR.
Oh.
So here, you know how it works, right?
I'm
so here
still
are the
not
rules. So here are the rules.
Pending.
Good.
They explain to you the rules. Here are the outline, and then you basically spend some time figuring out kind of really where things can happen. And so, but it's amazing.
There's gonna be a lot of screwing around.
As you should, man. Have fun.
That's what we're looking forward to.
It's been an institution, and I'm really fired up for you guys to get that. Not only that audience that kind of grew up listening to it, now is in the workforce, and they can be like, all right, now I get to spend my middays with these dudes.
And then people who have no idea and have been like, I never knew about it, so I don't care. Like the cult following is not important to me. We hope we can obviously grab those guys, and they go, oh, I don't hate listening to this news story because we've got a different spin on it. It's good.
Cult following is the right word.
So does it feel like you guys picked up right where you left off?
There's some of that. Like it's not like Ethan and I mean, we've talked. We're close. I mean, we got done with the radio show. We stayed close for the entire time that we were quote unquote not doing the show anymore.
We were separated,
and so
you did talk. I mean, it wasn't.
This is not like a reunion.
Your people didn't have to get you together.
No. In fact, it just went like this. Do you think Ethan would be willing to come back? I go. The answer is a soft yes from me, from him, and let me get a hold of him. And then we started talking. I mean, but again. Half the time it was like on you guys' show, I'd get to chat with Ethan out inside here. We were texting and talking all the time. So from a radio standpoint, it's really funny because you guys could appreciate this too because he's getting on there. He goes, I don't know. I mean, I just don't. Did it sound okay? And I'm like, I know that feeling, but at the same time, like.
Well, Alex has stayed in the business. Yeah. I'm having to come back to it. And also I'm in a really different place. You know how confident you are when you're young? And then as you get older, you learn all the things you don't know. And all the ways in which you actually are silly and dumb. And so I'm interested to see what this is like from a much more mature place because I'm a lot older than I was.
Don't do it.
Not too mature though.
But you benefit when you're younger. You benefit from knowing everything and being confident about your opinions and being confident about what you know. And I feel like time erodes that confidence. And I'm now at a place where I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it sounds like. I'm really hoping, though, that I can keep up with Alex.
We benefited a lot from the fact that we didn't know jack squat when we were 24 and a half.
He's a great guy.
Good
I met
dude.
him in the hall.
But that's crazy to me. I was Jake's age when I started the show. Like that's
no kidding.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
Isn't that amazing?
I was Jake's age then that I am now when we started Nightside, and that's how. And again, you get away with so much because you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And this is the tough part. Being on during the day now, people are going to hear us. That might be, you know what I mean? Like,
you'll be fine.
I don't want to get in trouble. We benefited a lot from. Did you hear that last night? People go, no, and we go, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't.
Or you come in the next day like, hey, somebody was mentioning you guys were talking about.
Don't know what you're saying.
Like,
hey, podcasts are a thing.
I know. And then you go back on the tape. I know now. It's like, go back on the tape. Now you can't get away with anything. So
the stream starts 12 to 1.
12 to 1 every day. And then now the whole thing streams just like here. We'll just be down in Master Studio down there at KSL News Radio. But we'll do the noon to 1 is just over here in the back studio. And then we'll literally walk downstairs and then just do the on-air portion. And then they'll replay some at night. So we'll still have a little bit of a vibe of at night still, kind of where we grew up in radio. So
I'm pumped for you guys. This is great.
Thank you, guys.
This is great. And Ethan, you're going to be terrific. I mean, just lean into it, dog.
Now, you're new into this room, Tim. How has it been with this guy or these guys?
Well, I'm trying to figure out kind of what you said, just not how to bring it down, man.
But here's the thing that's great. You're not new. There's no newness at all, and it's been great to have you guys pick up exactly where you guys need.
Well, I'm loving it. We went to dinner this weekend, and I told him, I hope I'm not bringing you down.
No, not one bit. Not one bit.
We're having a good time.
I am desperately trying to find a picture of you two and my kids.
You sent one to me at one point.
I know.
I've got to find it.
I can't seem to find it, but I'm going to dig that thing up.
Search really handsome guy.
Yeah.
I swear, I feel like Jake was wearing glasses in the studio. Like in my head. I mean like sunglasses. Maybe he put on, maybe there was a Christmas hat involved. And maybe there was because this was the Christmas Carol show.
Yep.
We have him come in and do Christmas Carol.
I do a mean Carol of the Bells if you need me.
Now,
I thought you were going to say you do a mean Carol Makita.
No.
Like, that'd be a great impression.
On the religious front tonight.
I spent a few months in Africa with the Saints there. Now, listen. Hey,
welcome to Zimbabwe.
Now, listen. Hold on. If Party Hounds don't show up for our first Festival of Carols, I'll be disappointed.
Okay, well, let's figure out a joint. We got to have a function or something. A party.
No, but that's what we do.
Brightside.
We bring you guys. I think we do a live situation just in the studio. We do a couple of tunes. You guys round it out with like a Christmas tune, and then boom, and then we go.
Santa got run over by a reindeer.
That's what it is.
That's right.
Let's do it.
I love it, man. Good luck, guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck.
It's the Brightside, not Brightside. It's KSL Brightside. Starting with the stream at 12 to 1, and then on air from 1 to 4. They're right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.